Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more interesting stories like these. Now, let's get into today's story video.
Me 25 male/female, found out 5 nights ago that my girlfriend 25 female, of 6 years cheated on me with a mutual friend, 25 male, am now waiting for my taxi to take me to the airport for my new life. How do I deal with the closure? Sorry, this one is a long one. I work in politics, in the dark smoky room side, and for the past 6 months my GF haven't seen much of each other because of a recent promotion that's been the opportunity of a lifetime. Let's call her H. H and I have been together since university, and to be blunt, she was the love of my life. Sweet, dedicated, fiercely loyal, and my best friend. Together we've done some pretty amazing things, and when I look back on my life highlights, our travels and years together will definitely be on there. H and I have been finding the time away from each other tough. I work from about 6:30 a.m. to 11 p.m., tend to be on the phone at weekends. However, she's been really supportive and has continued to tell me to focus on the job for now. We both plan to move to NYC together once I've completed this job. I know now that it's been a lot harder for H than she let on, and for me I've just desperately missed my partner. However, long ago now I came down into the bathroom to say good morning to H, and noticed a big love bite on her neck, which she'd been hiding under big jumpers. I confronted her about this as I hadn't been able to touch her in weeks after contracting scabies in Africa. I knew it wasn't me. This all happened so fast I barely remember anything that was said. I just remember the feeling that my stomach was suddenly lined with lead. She told me it was an allergic reaction of all things, but after pressing it became clear she was hiding something, and then it quickly became clear that we both knew what had happened. Turns out she'd cheated with a mutual friend she secretly met up with, says she went to him for advice about our relationship and ended up seeking affection from him. She told me, obviously begged for another chance, asked me to marry her, and then eventually left in a taxi to her friend's house with her bags that I packed for her. The house is all mine, we're not married. Nothing legal to worry about here. After she left I calmly got everything ready for work, made my packed lunch, ironed my shirt, and then just lost it and sat down with some whiskey and some smokes and wallowed in self-pity for the night. This has been my nightly routine for the last week. I've had a history of depression, so whilst this has hit me unbelievably hard, the numbness and feelings of emptiness ultimately makes it easier to get things done. I'm not a crying wreck, I'm just kinda done. Over the next few days I kept silent, didn't respond to any of the 90 missed calls. Eventually I rung her and told her we're over, I forgive her, and dropped all of her things to my friend's house while H was out at work. Thing is, I don't hate her for this, I understand how she was feeling, and I know my job got in the way of what was a very close and spontaneous relationship. We became different people. I can forgive her, but we have to be over. I'll never trust her again, and I can't have her in my life anymore. Especially not when it's not even a good idea for me to have a partner while my life's like this. Whilst I forgive her, it doesn't mean I can ever love her like I did. The next few days kind of led to a few impulse decisions. I went straight to my boss, who is also one of my best friends, who, bless him, offered to give up all his annual leave so I could sort myself out. When I told him being in that house would just bring back bad memories, he made me an offer, a year-long position working on an enormous project for an international government, and I took it. This involves a completely new role, a new life in a new country, and a completely different kind of office and project. So I put my house up for rent, which my brother will look after for me, and decided to just buy a ticket and head to my new home early before the position starts. It also makes visa stuff easier. I've not told H because I've tried to maintain NC and she has all her things. The taxi is coming in about 2 hours. Here are my questions. Should I tell H? Is it classless to let her find out from a friend? How do I get closure? What process can I use when I'm so removed from everything? How do I stop this being a quick fix? Is there a risk I get home after a year and it all just instantly comes back? I'm really fearful that all I'm doing is running away from my problem, and I'm worried moving away will mean I never engage with the fundamental betrayal. Any Redditors have tips for moving to a new country? How do you meet people? Have I been too rash? Importantly, anyone got any tips on getting over cheating? This is the second time I've been cheated on now, and whilst I'm quite happy to have a year of just being single, I'm worried about what happens after that. Is there even a point to trying to stay faithful to anyone? Update 1. So some of you may remember that I had some questions, and that I was on my way to flying out to start a new life, which I never mentioned is in Africa. Stuff took some pretty funny turns since then, and I thought I'd update you. So I am still not in Africa. I missed my flight after my cab was involved in a very, very minor collision. No one was hurt, but you can't get another cab quickly on the motorway. Luckily I've got total insurance up to my eyeballs. I phoned my boss to tell him and was about to book flights for the weekend when my boss asked me to stay a few more days as he'd had an absolute tidal wave hit his desk. I'd do anything for this guy, so I obviously agreed, and ended up deciding to stick around for Christmas to say goodbye to my family and give them a bit of time before I left for a year. My boss's secretary spent most of the week finding me a new flat, booking me immunizations, and generally sorting out my life to say thank you, which was really nice. So, I haven't told her I'm leaving, and no contact has been maintained. A good friend said she managed to have a conversation with H and made clear that I'm serious about needing significant period of time of silence between us. H is apparently handling it really badly, sobbing, having to have her friends look after her phone, which I thought would make me happy, but it really doesn't. There is one person I told, her father. Now anyone else on here I would strongly advise against breaking NC for ex's family members, but you have to understand that I cannot not answer the phone to this man. I have so much respect for him, and we've spent a huge amount of time alone drinking his amazing whiskey collection and talking about things. He's given me a lot of vital support and counsel in my life, and I'd be much worse off without him. He wanted to know if I could ever forgive his daughter. I explained that there's no point continuing now the trust is fundamentally destroyed, and he apologized and accepted that. He actually told me I should think about getting myself away for some alone time and begged me to meet up with him in the city I work in. At this point I told him where I'm going and asked him not to tell H until I'm gone. He promised he would honor my wishes, and that was enough for me. This man is old school and I know his word means a lot to him. I also left some messages to pass on to family members clandestinely once I'm gone, because the whole family have been amazing to me. My time since has been much smoother than it could have been. I've hit the gym a lot, rule 1, and have spent at least 2 hours every night, except Christmas, sparring with my brother. I've caught up with old friends before I leave and spent a lot of time with my family. We managed to complete the business that landed on my boss's desk, and he took me for an incredible goodbye meal with himself and his wife, which was nice. It was some unlimited meat joint, which makes me wonder why all things aren't unlimited meat. My own mood has been promising. For a few days there was a concerning intensity of numbness, but keeping myself busy really helped me feel normal again. Can't stress enough to everyone out there how important it is to get up and do stuff rather than wallowing. Changes your whole mindset and makes everything so much easier. In terms of other plans, I've already signed up to a Muay Thai gym out there and managed to find an old training partner who's working in the same city, so have organized a meet. My plan is to just treat this a bit like a year out at university. Work hard, yeah, but I'm going to get as much out of the experience as I can. I plan to blow all the money I was saving for H's birthday holiday. Thank you to everyone who assured me that there are some people you can trust out there, but I think at least for a while I'm going to have to be single. I'm thinking of going to get some help because I know that functionally I'll be single for at least plus 1 year, and I don't want distrust to become my default setting. Went to see my old psych about my depression flaring up, who thought I was doing really well considering the circumstances, so yay. I'm looking forward to my new life so much, and I feel much better about my ability to use it as a new start rather than just running away and hiding my feelings. I might write H a letter one day to get some answers to some questions, but I'm still undecided and probably wouldn't go ahead with it until I'm sure I'm on the way to recovery. To everyone out there, follow the advice on here, keep yourself busy and stick with NC. The whole next year is about me and I'm excited about what I can produce. Thank you everyone, and good luck. Update 2. Firstly, Africa is the most incredible continent in the world. I'm based in Tanzania, but I've been fortunate enough to do a lot of traveling. The new job is incredible, getting some crazy experience, got my own driver and secretary, making some really big differences here. And I think accepting this job was the best decision of my life. I'll be sad to leave at the end of the year. In terms of how I'm dealing with the breakup, this has been the perfect way to deal with it. It's hard to wallow for too long when you're riding around dirt roads and are sat with new friends sharing beer and looking at the most stunning natural beauty you'll find. One of the perks of the job is that we work closely with NGOs who send out lots of aid workers/volunteers around my age who are all still looking to have a good time. I'm still single, and it's been great to recapture my youth and go out and be free and make some new life experiences. On another thread, someone said that at the start of every good story/adventure requires something like what happened to me to occur, to expose myself and make myself a bit braver than I would have been. I love that. H has really just been the first half a paragraph in a story that's been so enjoyable and invigorating. Here's the breakup porn that I had to update you all on. This is proof that no matter how bad it is now, things can change, and once you heal, the dynamics of power can fundamentally shift in an instant. I've maintained NC with H. I've been updated by some friends that after she found out I left, she asked all my friends if they know my African number. She's blocked from all email/social media/my phone, and has been living with her parents for months now, having decided to spend some time on her own. Bear in mind I've not seen her since this all kicked off, or spoken to her. When I landed in London a few days ago, guess who is waiting for me in arrivals, apart from my mum of course. H. H comes from nowhere and kind of looks at me and starts crying. I was kind of speechless, to be honest. H had seen the flight details I'd posted on the wall of a mutual friend and taken a 4-hour train down to London to ask me to take her back. Bear in mind this entire time my mum is hovering in the background. I told H nothing had changed, thanked her for coming. I was genuinely touched by whatever this display was, and gave her some money to get a cab home, partly because she was a wreck, partly to make myself feel superior. At this point it really struck me how much everything had changed. I definitely still have some feelings for H, but they're couched much more reflectively. I felt extreme pity for her at that moment, and I don't think I've ever felt so sure that being on my own is what's best for me.